don't hire people in India, China, or Brazil. I hire them in the Philippines. I love this. She's got 15 years bookkeeping experience. He's a Facebook ads specialist. Sean is somebody that I'm thinking about hiring right now. How much does it cost to hire somebody in the Philippines? All right. Years ago, a mentor of mine warned me about the challenges that can come when hiring people overseas, and he shared why the Philippines avoids a lot of these problems. Now, every country is at a different level somewhere, but I'm going to share with you 3 major reasons why the Philippines is just leaps and bounds above the rest. So the first I want to talk about is cost. I mean, obviously, if you're going to outsource and hire people in a foreign country, a big reason you're going to be doing that is cost. Now, you're not going to believe how little it costs to hire somebody full-time in the Philippines. A big reason for that is the Philippines is still a third world country. Now, I don't even know what second world country is. I guess USA is considered first world. I don't know what countries come in the middle. But for those of you in the Philippines, go ahead and comment below about that. Let me know, do you still see your country as a third world country? Okay, another big reason why the Philippines shines above all other countries is communication. Everyone there speaks English. All the signage is in English. And yes, English is their second language. There's hundreds of different dialects that are spoken, and so the one unifier is English. Now, some history that I learned is that Spain occupied the Philippines for a long time, and Filipinos let me know where I get this wrong. So there was a war, okay, the Spanish-Filipino War or something like that. And then USA came in and saved the Philippines from the Spanish, and so that's why there's such a good relationship between Filipinos and Americans, is because Americans came in and saved the day. All right, so correct me if any of that is wrong. Go ahead and comment below. So why is communication key? Let me think for a minute. If we talk about countries like India, just amazing people there, right? And the language barrier is a little bit more difficult. One experience that my mentor shared with me is he hired somebody in India. He would communicate with them and say, "Do you understand these instructions?" And they would say, "Yes." But they were actually saying, "Yes, I heard the words come out of your mouth." But there was this language barrier, and there was a hard way to really understand if they comprehended what you were instructing them to do. So I'll talk more about the communication, but I want to get to the third area, quality work. There are some reasons why the Philippines is a place where you'll get the best quality work. So to have the best experience with outsourcing, to find the best outsourced employee or hiring a virtual assistant, you need to find somebody that has the best cost, that's an amazing communicator, that delivers the most high quality work. So with my little Venn diagram here, you need to make sure that they get all these areas covered. So I'll explain more about why this is the Philippines. So I'll share examples of each of these. Let's dive into communication first. The very first person that I hired was an article writer. Okay, they wrote in English very, very well. My job was to write articles for an article marketing company, but I hired a person in the Philippines to do that work, and they did a fantastic job. Now get this. Did you know that more people speak English in the Philippines than in England? Another reason that communication between America and the Philippines is so great is because of the amazing Filipino culture. They're very respectful, kind, very polite, and the relationship politically and just socially between the USA and the Philippines is very, very good. Filipinos often watch American movies and American television, and they understand American culture. And of course, they appreciate that we kicked Spain out of their country. Another cultural thing that I've noticed is it's actually a status symbol to work for an American boss. So by you employing them, you're actually raising the status among their peers. Another question you might have about communication is the technology to do so. Like if it's a third world country, do they have the technology? And the answer is yes. They are very up to date, especially in the big cities with high internet speeds. One thing that I found surprising is that the people in the Philippines send more text messages than any other country in the world, including USA or China. They have the internet, they have a culture of working from home. There's a phrase that I learned that we don't even use here in the USA, but it's called business process outsourcing. That's just a part of their culture. They're very familiar with virtual work. Now, a quick technical tip, I actually use WhatsApp to communicate with my team. I send them attachments, voice messages, or obviously just group text messages. It's so easy and my team embraces it. We've got a lot of good communication within our team. You can use WhatsApp when I do push-ups. Hey Ringo, can you make sure that my next episode gets launched on Saturday at 8:15? Okay, the second area that we're talking about is the quality work that you find from people in the Philippines. In the Filipino culture, they really highly value education. Families will group together and invest in the education of each other. And so as I mentioned, where there are a lot of reasons why people consider the Philippines still a third world country, it's not because of their education. They have really high educations. One thing that I've really come to learn and to love is that Filipinos are very loyal. They want to work with you long term. They do everything they can to try and please you and impress their boss. Without asking, I've often had my employees want to work extra hours or work on the weekend so they can do their best work. Really, the best part about loyalty is you're not training your competition. So I can share all my secrets. I can share all my tactics, my strategies, the inside scoop of the services that I offer, and I don't have to worry about these people becoming my competition. They're going to stay with me for years and years to come and share ideas with me and help me grow my company. It took me a while to understand that. I mean, the first year that I hired people, I kind of held things back. But then as I got to know them and realized, wow, these people have my best interest in mind, I started giving them more and more, and then I started to see other skill sets that they had where I could promote them at other positions, and they became more and more valuable to me. Now, another reason to talk about regarding their loyalty is it's really hard to find a good job in the Philippines. They're often unemployed, searching for work, and then they'll get a job and it's so short term. I mean, there's over 100 million people in the Philippines, and yet about 10%, about 11 million of them work abroad. They have to travel somewhere else to get a great job. They'll have to go work on a cruise ship or go to another island. So where we can offer them 40 hours a week job, they get to work from the comfort of their home. This is like a dream job for them, and they want to stay with us long term and be loyal and help us grow. That brings up another recommendation. If you're going to hire somebody in the Philippines, don't hire them for just a project that's going to end, but build a system in your business so that you can hire a long-term employee and have them be with you long term. Oh, and another thing to say about the Philippines, there is a huge workforce. The website I'll show you in a minute, there are hundreds of thousands of people there hoping to find a job working for an American. Now, just to give you a glimpse of the types of things that they can do, I mean, I've obviously got lots of video editors because I'm a YouTube producer and we do lots and lots of video content, but I've got a bookkeeper on my team, somebody on the other side of the planet who does all my bookkeeping. I've also got a team member that manages all my quality control. They've been trained on my systems, they know the results that I'm looking for, and so I don't have to be involved in quality control anymore. I've had team members that have been with me for many years and they've risen in the ranks and they now have leadership positions. They lead the team and they also train them and help advance their skill set. Now get this, one of my team members, he's a systems creator. I kind of invented this position because I was always the systems guy. I'd come up with an idea, I'd create the system, and then I would hire a Filipino to run that system. Well, now I have a systems creator, so now when I have an idea, I just tell that to my guy, and he creates the system that the other team members implement. Did you know that there are 7,641 islands in the Philippines? And did you know that Filipinos invented the karaoke machine? Filipinos are the most amazing singers in the world. Okay, so how much does it cost to hire somebody in the Philippines? All right, can you believe $450 per month full time? If you divide that by weeks, that's $112 per week. You can hire somebody for 40 hours a week for $112. What on earth are you waiting for? Now, I've been outsourcing for 10 years, and I have a lot of friends that have seen what I've been doing, and they've come up with a lot of excuses. They'll say things like, I don't have enough work for them to do full time. But here's the thing, if you had 8 extra hours every day to get more work done, I know that you would fill that time. So why don't you hire that person to do all those things that you'd be doing in that extra 8 hours? Think how much more productive you'd be. We're talking about $112 per week. Another excuse you may have is, well, I haven't systematized things enough in my business yet. Well, yeah, that's the problem. You're not a business owner yet. You're self-employed. The difference between somebody who's self-employed and a business owner is a business owner works on their business. Somebody who's self-employed works in their business. So if you really want to be a business owner, you need to create systems. That's what you focus on. You systematize everything in your business, and you can hire somebody in the Philippines to run those tasks. You started your business because you had a brilliant idea. Let's not let the ideas stop. You be the idea person, create the systems, and let other people run it. Okay, here's another excuse I hear. I tried it before. I hired somebody in the Philippines and it just didn't work. In fact, I have a good friend. She hired 7 different people in the Philippines and says it didn't work. Well, I guarantee you it wasn't the people that she hired. I don't know the specifics, but I can bet that there wasn't clear communication and clear expectations. Not every employee you hire will work out. That's the same in the USA. But these people that you hire, they want to do good work. They want to have a long-term job. Okay, just now, I went online and I found some profiles of some amazing people. I just want to show you some examples of who you can find in the Philippines. Meet Joyce, okay? Joyce is asking for $500 per month. She has a bachelor's degree. She's got 13 years call center experience, a lot of experience as an appointment center. As I read through her profile here, that's what really stood out to me, is she would be somebody that would be great as an appointment setter. Okay, so she definitely goes right there. Okay, let me introduce you to Maritez. I love this. She's got 15 years bookkeeping experience. She's 56 years old. I look at the photo and I recognize, you know, that's not a stock photo. This looks like a real person, 15 years experience. I would definitely want to interview her for a bookkeeper position. Okay, I'm actually really excited to introduce you to Jonathan. Now, Jonathan, he's a Facebook ads specialist. And when you search for somebody and it says Facebook ads specialist right in their title, that's a good indicator that that is their specialty. Now, as I read through his summary, his English isn't perfect, so I wouldn't hire him to be a writer, but he's got experience with Facebook ads, with Instagram ads. I would definitely take an application from him. So as I hang Jonathan up, now I've got to tell you about Sean. Sean is somebody that I'm thinking about hiring right now because he's a Flash animator illustrator. He's been an animator and illustrator for 6 years. He uses Adobe Flash, Adobe After Effects, and Adobe Premiere. We use the Adobe Creative Cloud. And he's asking for $500 a month. I don't know, but usually I can negotiate with people. So it gets even better. That was Sean. Let me introduce you to Jamie. She is a rock star telemarketer. She's had 8 years inbound and outbound calling experience. She's done customer service, telemarketing, appointment setting, lead generation, and she's done sales. What I also like about her profile is she wrote a lot about herself. What has she done over the 8 years? Well, in one position, she was lead generator, where her main task was to generate leads for closers, but she was also promoted to be a closer, where my main task is to give a client a free quote and explain to them on our program and help them and save money and get them enrolled in the program. So she went through and talked about all the different roles that she had, and then she lists a whole bunch of reasons why she should be considered. I love profiles like this, and this is somebody that I would definitely look at in hiring for a telemarketer. Okay, so she really is a rock star. Let me introduce you to Jervin. Jervin is a home-based transcriptionist. She's asking for $400 a month. She has extensive experience transcribing, editing, proofreading physician-dictated reports, business correspondence, lectures, seminars, videos, podcast interviews. She has a typing speed of 65 to 85 words per minute. You can hire her full-time for $400 a month. And I've got one more to show you. She's definitely a rock star. This is Chris. Chris is a video editor, and what I liked about this, and his profile is great, but he has a testimonial on here from somebody that hired him and worked with him previously. Chris was an amazing, fun, well-mannered individual we had the pleasure of working with for the past 3 months. He was always timely and efficient in delivering his work and was ready to learn. It's unfortunate we had to let him go due to manpower cuts. So they had to lay people off and they had to let this gem of a video editor go. So Chris obviously goes there as an amazing opportunity. Do you see how powerful this is? Do you see what an opportunity it is to hire people in the Philippines? Okay, now that you know the value of hiring people in the Philippines, the next episode that you want to watch, I teach you how to narrow down the best applicants, in fact, how to get them to apply to you in a special way and how to interview them. So of course, make sure you're a subscriber, but go ahead and watch that video now.